This podcast contains adult language, descriptions of violence, sexual references, and other possibly offensive themes. Listener discretion is advised. Previously on Back to the Story.
As you all hear and can see 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of red eyes that are moving towards you, you can hear of tumbling coming towards you as well. Displayed on the sides of these reliefs are clearly leaders of some sort, important people. A single dwarf, a single human, and a single, you're not sure, maybe halfling. It's hard to say what they are. You pull it down, and there's a clicking, releasing of locks. Then the elevator begins to descend. Is George back now?
Oi, mate, it's me, George.
That sounds... I'm convinced. Let's continue.
Can you do an impression of Ezekiel, though?
Yes. Oi, mate, it's me, Ezekiel.
I don't know what to expect.
Be nice.
Should we just RP the whole elevator ride?
Yeah, let's take 12 hours to do that.
Real time RP.
Real time. Well, until he comes back, we'll begin again.
Can I not send a spell? Can I use the spell sending?
You sure can.
Then I'll just reply to my letter saying, "I'm still alive. Please don't tell him I'm dead. I'll get the package."
Okay, and you are sending that to the person mentioned in your letter?
Yeah, the person I'm supposed to send a sending spell back to confirm that I'm not dead.
Well, it's the middle of the night, but noted.
Similar backtick, sorry.
You cast it again?
Yeah, I haven't.
You just get a sigh and that's it. You guys shift your watches and take your turns trying to rest as best you can. There are what looks like beds that were set up, but the cushioning is long since disintegrated, but it kind of works. About 6 hours in, Melly, you get your letter. You respond to it. 8 hours pass. After about 12 hours, you hear that you can see bars in front, exiting into a hallway. And as it lands, you can hear gears clicking into place, and then the bars open, dropping down, revealing the tunnel before you. The tracks continue off of the elevator lift and continue down this hallway as well, where carts could be pushed and pulled.
Thank the fucking gods, and I get off the elevator. How much longer do you think we're gonna have to be down here?
Longer than any of us want to be down here.
I just hope that he went this way. And then Ball looks back at the elevator, looks up. It's a long way back.
I need some fucking air.
As you guys come off of the elevator and enter into the hallway, you can see the cart tracks lead forward. And as you follow them, you can see ahead a large entrance. The sort of hallway expands into some massive cavern. You can see buildings, some of them ruined, some of them collapsed. But it looks like a small or large city down here. The architecture is that Art Deco hard lines carved out of the stone. And to your right, you see another hallway. It doesn't go very far before you see glowing green eyes. You see a pair, 2 sets, about 50 feet into the darkness. And for George, the elevator has landed about 12 hours. The gate dropped and you've entered into a hallway. The hallway leads forward and widens into what looks like a abandoned ancient dwarven city.
Okay, I caught most of the rest of that.
Okay, and to the right is a hallway where you see 2 sets of glowing green eyes.
Pretty dark, though?
Pretty dark.
Ball will slip his pony mask on so you can see a bit better here.
Yeah, I'll cast light again, and I've got the prismatic hood, so I can see.
You cast light and you can see better in the surrounding area, and as that light ignites, glowing and revealing the rest of you in the darkness, the two sets of eyes and begin to move towards you. They come within range of those of you with dark vision, and you can see skeletal figures running towards you. They have broken pieces of metal in their hands as they're charging forth towards you.
Definitely aggressive, I assume.
Yeah,
I'm
Is it just the two of them?
It looks like there's just two.
Yeah, if they're
okay.
charging towards us, I'm going ahead and casting Firebolt
Okay.
at
Sacred Flame.
one of them.
Can I cast Grease as well if they're running just in front of them?
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's a 4 against the Sacred Flame. Isn't that a something save?
Yeah, it's a dexterity save.
Grease, that's a 6.
Yeah, we'll do that.
And my Firebolt towards, I guess, is one of them ahead of the other, or are they
They're
even?
about the same.
Then I'll just aim towards the one on the left, and that's 15 to hit.
I'll aim
Hits.
for the other one, which is 8 radiant damage.
Okay. Radiant flames ignite the creature, and you see the left arm, bones, and ribs scatter to ash. It's still limping along, but just barely, as it slips on the grease, falls, and slams into the ground on its back.
13 points of fire damage.
The other one is emulated, burned to just a crisp as the skull lands on the ground, unmoving. The other skeleton begins to try to get up with its one arm, trying to stand up into the grease. But as it attempts so, the flames catch onto the grease, burning up as well, as it too crumples to the floor. The fire begins to burn. As you come closer, you can see the remains of bones upon the ground. And looking through the flames and smoke, you can see the only thing that really remains are a few shattered, burnt bones and the skulls, both of which have a rune carved into the forehead. The eyes are no longer glowing as the grease continues to burn.
Fucking skeletons. Do they look like dwarven skeletons? Based on the size?
Their skeletons are burnt and gone now, but at the time they did look to be about that height.
I'm going to carefully kind of try and pick up one of the skulls, or at least point out to Melly the runes. Do you know what that might be, Melly?
Do what?
Make an Arcana check. Make it an advantage, actually, for reasons. 27. This is an arcane rune, the principal rune of a necromantic spell to raise the dead on the skeleton. And not only do you understand that from your studies of that book, you also recognize the rune. You've seen it before in the sewers of Whiteguard.
So we've seen this rune in the sewers of Whiteguard. It's the raised dead thing from the book that you had me destroy.
Fuck. Okay. So I guess we're on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to listen in the chamber and quiet everyone for a minute, just if I hear any movement.
Yeah, make a perception check.
25.
Okay. As you listen through the flames that begin to die down, the 25, you can hear muffled voices in the distance. It's hard to make out what the words are, but they're hushed and they are direct and abbreviated. They're quick. They're orders. People are moving around. And it comes from further into the hallway. And as you hear this, you also hear of stone sliding. And then of stone landing.
We might have just gotten closed in here or something. I don't think our entrance was unheard. Can I point us in the direction of that and I guess slowly make our way over?
Yeah. You continue past the dead skeletons where you see, though it continues, and then there is a doorway to the right where you heard the noises coming from. Here you can see there are actually torches that have been placed that are actually giving off some light. And coming around to look down that hallway, you can see a stone doorway that looks like it has dropped and is closed.
All that's around us is this stone doorway?
This hallway kind of continues forth, and to the right, there's sort of an entranceway that leads into something beyond. That narrow-ish hallway, it's about 20 feet wide, leads to a door that is just a stone doorway that is just dropped and closed.
Is there a lever?
Looking around quickly, you don't see a lever.
I don't know if it would be easy to lift this.
I get down to the bottom of it. Is there any crack at all, or is it kind of flush to the ground?
It's fairly flush. You might be able to, there's carved reliefs into it, so you might be able to get some finger holds there, but it's fairly flush at the bottom. It looks like there's actually a ditch where it kind of divots in, a half inch or so.
I mean, it looks like there's no real other way out and we have to go forward. So Ball will look at Ezekiel and say, care to give me a hand?
I'll do my best. This looks like a task that requires fingers, and my own personal strength is not, well, yours. But I'll help.
Ball will take out his one of his older greatswords and see if he can fit it into one of these divots that you were pointing out, and try to kind of use it as a lever.
Mm-hmm.
Ezekiel, I could make you a bit bigger for a minute, and then I think you'd have a better chance at helping lift that.
I mean, I certainly wouldn't mind.
So I will cast Enlarge on Ezekiel, and he now has advantage on strength checks.
Okay, so the 6'8" Ezekiel suddenly becomes taller than Ball as you step up towards the stone doorway. Ball taking out an old greatsword to try to use it as a crowbar, essentially. As you do that, go ahead and give me athletics checks. Ezekiel at advantage with your new size.
Ball get advantage with the crowbar?
I think that's what the crowbar is supposed to do.
Okay, sure. Sure. Why not?
23 for Ezekiel.
26, natural 20.
Didn't even need it. Didn't need it. The greatsword bends back under the weight of this, and as you guys lift it up about a foot, 2 feet, suddenly arrows are being shot at your feet. That is a 18 to hit. You guys have significant cover. Dirty 20 with significant cover, doesn't matter. The arrows sling towards your feet, and some of them clatter against Ball, your boots, and hit at Ezekiel at your feet, but there's enough cover from the doorway to where most of them miss or bounce off against the walls. You can hear the arrows restringing once more as you lift it up. 3, 4.
Does it sound mechanical or like...
You can hear gears clicking into place as they lift it up.
I'm keeping an eye on this doorway as it's opening, and as soon as I see someone, I'm going to cast Fireball into the room. Okay.
So as you guys, as Ball and Ezekiel are lifting this doorway up, you get it about a little above your waist, about 3.5, 4 feet up, and you can feel each couple inches you lift it, the gear clicks into place and holds the doorway at that height. Do you guys take another round to try to push it up further, or do you leave it there?
Can we fit through at our size?
You'd have to bend down and squeeze, essentially, but you would be able to fit through.
And that's fine with me.
Okay. So Ezekiel kind of drops the doorway, letting it hang on to the gear it's currently at, begins to climb and dip under. And as that happens, everyone go ahead and give me an initiative roll.
I can't roll initiative.
I can today, and it's scaring me.
17 for Ball. What's your dexterity, Ezekiel?
8, same as yours.
Oh, never mind. Whoever wants to go first, you guys can just pick.
And I have the same initiative as both of them.
Oh, what's your dexterity? You're first.
My dexterity's pretty good.
Yes, so
it's better than 8
go first, for sure. So Ball and Ezekiel, who wants to go first?
I'll go.
I'll let Ezekiel go first.
Well, I can only do light or dark vision, so you guys are going to get a little extra bonus, because that's just, can't do both. You guys are really clustered together. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it certainly is a thing.
This is the guy that put us in a hallway.
No. I mean, initiative-wise.
Oh, okay.
Should have pre-rolled initiative, but, here we are. So as you'll lift it up and begin to move in, another round of arrows are loosed.
What direction are these arrows coming from?
As you're moving under and in, from the left and the right. There doesn't seem to be anything forward. As you enter into this room, you can see a large pile of rubble to the left. There's straight forward, there's another structure of some sort, a sort of room within a room, with an open 10-foot wide doorway that leads into something beyond. And to the right, there is a turned over table and a little bit of light. And those arrows clatter on the floor. And that will bring us up to that person who's going to do that. And that person is going to do that. And to Melly. So Melly, you can wait on them to move through, or you can scoot through. It's your turn. Sorry. I said that really weird, but that's what's happening.
I can't really see anything, but I think I'm supposed to be able to see Vesper's light.
Okay, I'll fix that. There we go.
Ah, that's so much better. I'm going to hold my action until the boys move.
Okay. That brings us up to Ellory.
How well can I see past them when they're both this size?
Not well at all.
Not well at all. And how much movement would it take to get past one of them?
25 to get right in front of Ezekiel.
Yeesh.
You could always hold your turn until right after, so that way we can maybe get out of your way.
Yeah, I think that might be the best thing to do, to just drop back in initiative.
Okay. So that will bring us up to Ball.
I think you want to go first, right, Ezekiel?
Yeah, either way.
Ezekiel.
Okay. So I'll move through. So how much movement to just get through there? 10, 20, or 10, 15?
10.
10. Okay. I can sort of see someone over there. Ooh, actually, before I move, with the whole party in range, I am going to grab my holy symbol and say a quick prayer and cast Bless at 4th level, so the whole party has it.
Okay, so that wind begins to surround you all.
And then I'll move through to here, and then I'll bonus action. There's enough space here, so I'll go Giant Constrictor Snake.
Okay. And
are you a double Giant Constrictor Snake because of the enlarge?
Okay.
Like a 6x6 maybe?
Ellory might want to drop that.
So, as you climb under, begin to rush in, shifting into Snake. As you climb in, some arrows are loosed in your direction. Orange from the left. It's a 7 that comes towards you. You kind of knock it to the side in your large form, hitting a shattering against Dragon Scale. Behind you is a 14 to hit.
Hits.
As an arrow strikes into your back, dealing 5 piercing damage.
Okay. And roll that. Please don't suck. Where is that? We're good.
You turn into a giant constrictor snake.
The arrows were after I turned, right? Because technically, if I was still me, neither would have hit.
It would have occurred as soon as you went in, so neither hit.
Oh, okay, great.
So they shatter against your armor before you shift into a giant constrictor snake. And that will bring us up the ball. So it's 10 feet to kind of get to the other side.
So that would be 15 feet then?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll step into here, kind of have a look around and say, we don't know who you are and we don't need to fight. And with that, do any of these ones kind of look like a leader? Just on like a quick glance?
Quickly glancing around, they are holding bows.
Okay, so I'll just, Ball will start to approach the one closest to him. And kind of, like, be more defensive in his stance. So with his action, kind of take a dodge stance, as he says that we don't need to fight. And that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay. You see her notch another arrow, this human, and as she does so, oh, we do. And her eyes ignite in an orange color, in a blue glowing color dimly from her eyes. And that will bring us up to Melly, who essentially moved back in initiative order, as the boys have now moved through.
Did Melly do that, or did we both do that?
I assume she did it as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because the
said
wording
my action,
on
but I
ready
meant
action is,
I meant
yeah.
that.
Cool.
I figured what you meant.
Am I able to move if I've moved myself back in the initiative?
Yeah.
That's the
I
way.
figured that's what you meant, so.
If I'm stood here, can I shoot at the ones that are shooting Ezekiel?
You probably would have to go 5 feet more forward, because there's a big stone thing that's about 4 feet off the ground, right above you, so you kind of have to squat.
So if I'm there...
It's hard to see past Ezekiel, the one to the left. It's hard to see the one past Ball to the right. There's a overturned table towards the top right where you can see someone peeking over, notching an arrow.
I will shoot at that one.
Okay.
I'm just going to do Ray of Frost.
Okay. The ice slams into the overturned table as the scout just manages to duck behind it.
Okay, it's my turn.
And Ellory.
Okay. Does it take extra movement for us to get through the door, or was that just for the big boys?
You have to duck, but it's not a problem for you guys.
Okay, so I'm going to move up. I can't see much.
It'd be 25 right there.
Yeah. I can't see very well. I can see a sort of doorway going back. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and cast Fireball back into the darkness, basically centered as far back as I can see.
To the right?
To the right.
Okay.
So I'm pinging the spot.
Do you not see that candle?
I don't see anything. I see the space that we're in, but I don't see any light.
Sorry.
Or
all players see light. Give me 1 second. This should help.
I see that now. Yeah.
This should help because they do have like lights because they need to see as well. So that should help some there. So there's an overturned table to the right, and that candle is kind of falling onto the floor, giving it a little bit of light still.
Okay, so I can't see very much, but I do see that. So I'm just gonna center my fireball on the table, maybe just behind the table.
That is a 14.
That does not make it. Wow, my damage is terrible this time. 10, 15, 21 points of fire damage.
As the fireball slams and explodes, the table goes flying, chairs go flying, and that person is slung against the back wall, slumps to the ground, unmoving.
Okay. And I will end my turn there.
Okay. As you do that, you hear moving in your direction. That is a 26 to hit.
Oh, that definitely hits.
Okay. That is... that is 20 points of damage.
Ouch.
As a dagger slams into the back, and materializing there is a man hooded and cloaked with a dagger slung into your back. He then slings around with the scimitar. And that is that's great. He slings over, and this time you're able to pull away from the dagger, ducking under the scimitar as he gets back into a fighting stance here.
Fuck.
That will bring us up to this person. As Vesper and... Wait. I don't have Amsen on the board. Amsen, what's your initiative?
Amsen's gone.
Okay, so I'm just going to have him go with Vesper. Sorry. As you're looking forward, and you see this person materialize out of nowhere, slamming a dagger into the back of Ezekiel, you hear, and to your left, floating outward, is a spectral female that floats through the wall, a familiar face. Well, It's a pleasure to see you again. This will be for the last time, though. As her jaw unhinges and you hear this horrifying noise. And I need everybody to make a wisdom saving throw.
14 for Ball.
24 for Vesper.
19 for Ezekiel.
Oh, is blessed for saving throws as well?
Correct. So everyone can
sweet.
add a d4.
I'm going to do it just for fun.
It's an 18 for Ball.
27 for Vesper.
12 for Ellory.
Okay. So if you rolled a 16 or higher, you take 12 damage. If you rolled under 16, you take 24 psychic damage.
I'm
And are currently
looking
stunned.
real bad, guys.
Allegedly, I'm on the initiative order, so just hang on for a second.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. All right, Amsen, let's see what you got. Is that good? Did you do good? No, not great.
You get a 1d4 for bless
He
on
gets
Amsen as
1d4.
well.
More than a 1.
That's enough. That's 12 on Amsen. And after she does so, she will shift backwards through the wall once more. And that will bring us up to Vesper.
Awesome. I will run up to Ellory, and I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on her at, let's say, I'm going to do second level because I have the spell slots at second level. Which is, if I can find my dice, because they're all in the jumble tonight, d8 plus, or 2d8. 7, not even, 10 hit points back.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then with my bonus action, I'm going to... Oh, I can't do that. Never mind. Is this doorway across from me open?
Yes.
No, I'm going to hang out here. Never mind. Deeply considered running in there, but I think I'll wait. That'll do it.
Okay. That'll bring us up to Amsen, who is going to do something good.
Sing for us.
Beacon of Hope!
He's going to do Beacon of
That'd be
Hope.
great. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, he sure does do that. So it does Beacon of Hope. Any number of creatures within, 30 feet. So he's going to run up and get a little closer. That'll catch everyone. Yeah, so he runs up, casts Beacon of Hope. And that's his turn. And he's going to inspire Ball. Ball, you're inspired. You have an inspiration.
I'm expecting a song, and I won't stand for a no.
La da 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 do, I'm Amsen, here you go. Ba 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 ba. That's what you get. That's what you get. Running out of the doorway ahead of you, you see a dwarven individual, sort of, that moves forth with a face that looks like it's been carved out of stone. And he's going to get there. He's going to do it. You trust. He runs forth, puts his fingers together, and forces his hands out towards you all. He's actually going to do it a little bit further back. Yeah. And releases a blizzard of frost and fractals that freeze along the ground. I need Ellory, Ball, Vesper to make dexterity saves, constitution saving throws, as well as Amsen.
Is it 7 for Ball?
16.
You have advantage.
I'm just going to ask,
Is
because
advantage?
Katie
Because we have
had
Beacon of Hope.
that's
Okay.
not on Constitution saving throws.
Is it not
But
on? Oh,
it's only on Wisdom.
saves, I thought.
Wisdom.
Oh. Yeah.
But Katie just had to go. Does Melly have counterspell? Damn.
Okay. So as he holds this ice out, this cone of cold that begins to release towards it, Melly sees the ice and attempts to try to freeze it. And this is a high-level spell slot for him, so he's going to attempt to do the same thing to her.
Okay.
I can't remember how counterspell.
Presuming Melly cast it at 3rd level because it was just a standard, if he cast it at 3rd level, her counterspell is automatically countered. She would have to roll, but hers is automatically countered, so it would go through.
Okay. So he begins to release this energy. Melly twists the ice in his hands and tries to freeze one of his hands. And as she does so, he looks towards her and breaks this ice on his hand with a flash of light in front of her eyes. It kind of dazes her for half of a second, long enough for him to get this spell off as the ice and cone of coldness erupts from his hands. So Constitution saves for you guys, but he did have to burn another spell slot to do that.
You did get Bless, just not Beacon of Hope. Just checking for everybody.
Okay, I forgot about that. So 18 instead of 16.
Okay. So the DC to beat, let's see. So Ball, that is a failure. You take 34 points of cold damage.
All reaction absorb elements take half.
Okay. So 17. Ellory, you succeed. You take 17. Vesper, you fail. You take 34. And Amsen, succeed. Amsen, 17. Okay. So that is the mage. That is all his movement. That'll bring us back up to the top. Amsen, that will bring us up to orange. Here to the left is going to shoot at you, Ezekiel. That's a 16 to hit you.
Yes.
That is 3 points of piercing damage as they release an arrow into you.
Okay.
The blue one towards the right with the glowing blue eyes is going to release an arrow towards the ball. That's a natural one as she overdraws in fury. She overdraws and the arrow itself kind of shatters as she releases and it flies off towards the ceiling somewhere. It'll bring us up to Ezekiel.
Okay. I chose the wrong side. So I think 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I think I can get to there. Ooh, my computer is super slow. With my move, I assume I'm taking an opportunity attack from that.
From that guy, he'll take it. It's a 19 to hit.
Yeah.
And that deals 5 piercing damage.
And then once I'm within 5 feet of that fucker who just cast Cone of Cold, I'm going to try and constrict him.
Okay.
So 16, 20, dirty 20.
Yeah, that hits.
All right. So he is going to take 13 bludgeoning damage plus a level 1 smite. Just got to get to the right page. I should really roll real dice. 11. So 24 damage altogether, and he is grappled and restrained.
Okay. You wrap around him, crushing him in as he grunts, trying to restrain against you, trying to hold on to a spell book under one arm and then some sort of wand in the other. And that will bring us to Ball, unless there's something else.
Nope.
Ball.
Ball's going to do something he hasn't done before. He's going to look at both the hooded figure in front of Ellory, as well as this stone-like gnome or dwarf character. And he's going to cast Hold Person at 3rd level to target both of them.
Okay.
It is a Wisdom save.
The Dwarven Mage rolls a dirty 20, actually.
That is fine.
The Rogue rolls a 13.
The Rogue fails. So he is paralyzed.
The Rogue locks up. And what does this look like as you do this? I don't think you haven't done this before.
I think you just see kind of like some anger overtakes Ball, seeing kind of how quickly the tides have kind of turned. And Ball's eyes flame up just for a brief moment. And then you see kind of a glow of flame kind of outline the figure of the hooded character just for a moment as suddenly he freezes in place.
Okay. And under that gaze, becoming paralyzed, that'll bring us up to melee.
And then I'm not quite done yet. So then with my move action, or with my move, I will get up into melee range of him. And then using my sorcery points, I will, as a bonus action, attack using my glaive and my phoenix blade. As long as I don't fuck this up, it should go well.
Is that a spell? Is that a spell?
Yeah, it's a cantrip. So okay. I guess that counts as a spell, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so he is paralyzed. You have advantage on the strike, and if you hit, it's an auto crit.
Okay. So I have extra rolls. Does 19 hit?
Yeah, 19 hits.
Okay. So that'll crit. And
so
then
that's an auto crit.
I'll put my 4th level spell into it for the smite. And give me a second to calculate this. So 16 damage from the glaive, 13 fire damage, and 44 radiant. So a total of 73 damage.
How do you end this paralyzed rogue?
I don't know. I think just Ball's eyes flame up as this rogue kind of freezes in place, and Ball, seeing his opportunity to strike, just charges in and just sticks the glaive into his throat. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's kind of bloody.
Yeah, right into his throat. As you pull it out, the blood spurts with the remaining few pulses of the heart before the blood is completely drained, and the rogue paralyzation kind of fades and the body falls limp onto the ground, the blood spilling out upon the stone tiles below. He's dead. Then it brings up to Melly. Melly is going to try her hand at this as her best bet. So she is going to take a few steps back. She pulls this energy into her hands as she puts her back to Ezekiel and Ball, looking back towards the wall. And that brings up to Ellory.
So, where did we see Eliza show up before?
Behind you.
Behind us
she
in the corridor.
She floated through the wall behind you and then passed through the wall to the left.
Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to cast Storm Sphere in this room on the right side, centered so that the ball won't be inside the sphere. But okay. This one archer on the right will be. And as my bonus action, I'm going to send a lightning strike at the mage.
Okay. And he is currently grappled and restrained by Ezekiel.
So that is math. That's 23 to hit.
That'll hit. And what are you striking him with?
A lightning from the storm sphere.
Okay.
So that is 13 points of lightning damage to him. And then the archer in the middle of the sphere has to make a strength saving throw.
That is a 13.
Nope. So that's 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Storm erupts, lightning striking towards the dwarf. You can see he almost goes limp, but manages to tilt his head up and remain conscious for now. The wind is knocking this other archer about. She's remaining standing, but just barely.
And then I am going to run around Ball just a little bit. Or I think, yes, I'm next to Ball.
Okay. That will bring us dead, and to here. What is she going to do? Well, let's see if it matters. So she is going to come out of the wall. And as she comes out right there, Melly releases the spell she was holding. Banishment. Charisma saving throw. Not great. As Eliza kind of comes out, surveys the situation, sees a storm to the right, sees the rogue that you've been chasing dead already. She looks in horror as she looks up and sees Melly, who's releasing this energy towards her. Eliza reaches out before she disappears. And that will bring us up to Vesper.
How bad does Amsen and Ellory look?
Ellory looks really bad.
Okay, how bad does Amsen look?
Pretty bad.
Okay. Got max healing right now. I will healing word Ellory at second level. So we've got Beacon of Hope, so that's going to be 8, 11, 10, 11, 12 healing to you. And then
12 to Ellory?
12 to Ellory. Okay. And then I'm going to run up to Amsen and use my action to use my healer feat and heal him. I believe that is 18.
So you heal Ellory, running up, pulling out your medkit, quickly going over the frostbite arms of Amsen, patching them up as best you can.
While
quickly.
I'm patching up Amsen, our other potential healer, I also look very bad.
And that brings us up to Amsen, who's going to cast Magic Heal. Does he have that?
Yeah, it's definitely a bard spell.
He definitely has Healing
Magic
Word.
Heal.
Okay, I didn't know if he had Cure Wounds. He uses Magic Heal. Da-da-da-da-da, don't you feel better now? And And you'll go ahead and cast it at a higher level, so you're going to get a little bit more. A little more juice.
We're Beacon of Hope, so it's max healing.
8 plus whatever his thing is. 11 healing. And that's going to bring us up to the mage who is writhing around in Ezekiel's snake form. He's going to try to escape. Is that a strength save?
That is an action to... It's athletics or acrobatics is a grapple.
Oh,
Okay.
I should mention that last time I was hit, enlarge dropped. But that was
I don't think we've been worried about I'm already huge. Let's not...
Yeah.
You're still a big snake. Big snaky boy.
That was before I cast another concentration spell anyway.
So that's a 6 to escape your grapple.
So he's stuck, and that's his action.
He tries for a bit and is unable. I surrender. And he just kind of like goes limp. Whatever you will, I surrender. And he goes limp. That brings up to Orange, who is going to fire at the healer. That's a 14 to hit you, Vesper.
That will not hit.
An arrow comes and you're just able to kind of duck backwards as the arrow skids along the halfway closed door in front of you. Blue is just going to try to get out of this damn storm. At the start of her turn, I believe she does things. I know it's ends. So she's able to get out back that way. And that will bring us back up to Ezekiel. You hold a very wounded dwarf in your serpentine tail.
Yeah, I'm just going to hang on to him for a minute. And I'm going to slither my way over to here, I think I can get to. And just look at Orange and stick out my tongue. And I can't really do anything else of that. Oh, wait, I guess I can dash. Yeah, I'll dash. And I'm going to get right up on him. Ooh, and you know what would be intimidating? I'm going to use my bonus action to use a ability I have never used, which I can use my bonus action in animal form to heal that B shape. So I want the few little wounds that are on the snake to suddenly seal up as I crawl up to him.
Okay. Give me an intimidation check as you're doing that. Do it at advantage because the rogue is dead, the mage is defeated, Eliza is banished, and you're healing up. Okay.
17.
As you slither towards her, she kind of begins to notch another arrow and then kind of glances at the dwarf, who is basically not resisting at all, and drops it to the ground. Hands up. All right. And that'll bring us up to Ball. Currently, the dwarf has given up, gone limp, and the snakes entangle. Another one next to Ezekiel has dropped their weapon and hands up. There's one that ran around the corner from the storm sphere, who was heavily wounded, and the rogue is dead, and Eliza's been banished.
Ball's just going to run up to where, like next to where Eliza was. If I remember correctly, it's around there. And he's just going to ready an action to attack if she reappears.
Okay. That'll bring us up to Melly and then Ellory. So Ellory can go ahead and go, as Melly is just kind of going to take a few steps back and focus on concentrating on that spell.
I can't see the one who was running away. I think I'm going to bother with her. I'm also going to step back a little bit and keep an eye on that wall as well. Was she banished before or after I brought up the storm sphere? After. No, wait, Melly went right before me, so I think...
She held her action until Eliza reappeared. Eliza reappeared, saw the storm, and then it's vanished.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and drop Storm Sphere and hold on to a Scorching Ray in case I see Eliza again.
Okay, so you hold on to that. It brings up to Vesper and Amsen.
I am also going to move around and wait for Eliza. I don't really want to be in anyone's way, so I'll kind of scoot that way. And I'm going to hold a spell. I'm going to hold Bestow Curse. Okay. And when she comes, just reach out and try and grab her and cast that.
Okay. Amsen is going to position himself and also prepare something. And that'll kind of come back around. Ezekiel, you'll be on deck. Between them, you hear the mage kind of, "It's all right. The rest of you, just surrender. This isn't going to work. Let's talk through this." The scout in front of you, Ezekiel, continues to have their hands up. She reaches down towards her belt, undoes it, and lets her dagger and short sword on her side fall to the ground, and then continues to have her hand up. The blue wounded comes around the corner, slowly, hands up. You can see she's dropped her weapons as well. That brings us down to Ezekiel. And if you guys wanted to continue the initiative, you certainly can if you wanted to prepare more things. But for at least the time being, we can kind of hop out of initiative. But Melee will let you know there's a minute. You have a minute, as long as she can hold on to this.
I guess unless Ezekiel wants to do something immediately on his turn.
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
So Ball's going to say, we don't have to let her escape again. Now may be our only chance. We have to act fast.
Let it go now, before everything else that we've got on us buffed is gone.
Melee kind of nods and begins to look at the rest of you.
Yeah, before Melee...
See if you're ready.
Yeah, exactly. So then Ball will hold an action or hold a spell to cast Whole Person on...
I will bestow curse if I get it off right. I can make her not do anything on her turn.
He wants to paralyze her.
Yeah, probably a better idea.
But I'm going to drop form and just, because I don't think I'm going to fit in that hallway, so I'm going to shillelagh up and get ready to batter swing.
I'm going to move somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where I can get a better vantage point so I don't have Ball directly in between where she's supposed to show back up again.
Can I, if Ball's prepping Whole Person, if we have a moment to kind of prepare instead of bestow curse, can I do Spirit Guardian's prep instead? Or
you'll have to drop. They have to drop the other spell, but you have time to be able to do that. You just have to use that spell.
Spend both spell spots, though.
Mm-hmm. Because you already cast it and you're just holding on to it.
Fuck it, I'll hold on to it. It's fine.
Okay. So you guys basically are able to prepare, get in position, and maneuver yourselves to where you have a rough line of sight to where you saw her last. The two scouts kind of step to the side. The dwarf, after you drop form, you release him, but he just kind of steps back, sits on a stone nearby. Well, I'm not going to stop you, but I would advise against it. There are folks more powerful than her. It might be bigger problems. But he continues to hold his hands up. Okay. Melee kind of looks to all of you. Ready?
Ready.
With a nod, she drops it. Eliza suddenly into place, spectral, ethereal, floating a few feet above the ground, looking around to gauge what's happening as all of you drop your stuff. Just give me one at a time.
Let me go first real quick, because I'm going to try and attack her with this bestow first. She has to succeed on a wisdom saving throw?
That is a 21.
Fuck. Okay. Cool.
Okay. So you release this energy towards her, and she just draws it in, looks towards you quickly, breathes it in, and takes it in, negating the effect. Who's next?
Ball can do his Whole Person, so it is a wisdom saving throw again.
That's a dirty 20.
So she makes that too.
As you try to paralyze her, it doesn't seem to take any effect upon her. Who's next?
I'll just send 3 rays of Scorching Ray at her.
Okay.
So
you can attack roll.
The first is 25.
That hits.
Second is 21.
Also hits.
Third is 17.
Also hits.
Okay. So that will be... Oh, that fell off. Here's a different one. 10, 20... 24 points of fire damage.
You notice some of that energy is drawn in. She's able to resist some of it, but she does certainly take a lot of it.
Okay.
I'm gonna whack her with my stick.
You can attack roll. And you would be able to do so at advantage because she's surrounded.
Okay. Hit the button. Did it roll?
You got 15? You also get less.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try and do that. Come on. Ooh, 16.
That will just miss.
Great. Awesome.
And I'm going to say Amsen got up and he's going to try to bestow curse on her. That's a natural 1. As Amsen releases that energy into her, you can see her ethereal, bluish, white, translucent energy almost like withers and greens to one side of her. You can see her slumping. The sort of beautiful visage on that side sort of withers into a more skeletal version. And I believe that's everyone. So that will bring us to her. She is going to... Let's see if she can do that because of this. The start of her turn has already started. She's going to look around, and you see her form almost shift. You see her become more translucent, more see-through, as she kind of withers and shifts in place, but she doesn't move. The kind of pain begins to fade from her face as she kind of cracks a grin and a smile. Well, we might have to meet again. You did well, though you don't understand why. I wish you could understand. That is effectively her turn. The mage and the other scouts are doing nothing. So it essentially comes back to you guys again.
In any order?
We can go in order, Ezekiel.
Yeah. Fuck you. And I'm going to take another swing.
Okay. Gonna make an attack roll.
19 plus bless. So 20, dirty.
As you swing, your weapon passes through. Doesn't seem to catch upon anything.
Even though it is magical?
Let me check.
Just making sure.
That's a good thing. Let me double check. Yeah, it passes through. As if she's not there. As if she's only partly here.
Oh, that is very irritating.
You can feel free to continue to try. You're not going to get far. Why don't we make a deal?
Vespa, can you turn her?
Yeah, I certainly can. And I will channel divinity and turn undead.
Okay. Is that a wisdom saving throw?
I'm so bad at turning undead. I never remember how to do it.
You're such a rogue.
Yes,
I'm such
it
a
is.
rogue. Yes.
Okay.
Flipping definitely my cards.
That's a 16.
Does she get disadvantage if I'm reading Bestow Curse right?
Depends on the effect Amsen chose.
Oh, you know what? She begins to say, let's make a deal, and then she just locks up in place and doesn't move.
Oh, okay.
She kind of drifts more here than she was prior.
Does that change anything with Ezekiel's attack?
Yeah, and I know, I'm sorry, Alex, this is going to be a shit to edit, but so as she says, let's make a deal, and she locks up and seems to drift back more onto this plane than she was before. Ezekiel, you swing, slamming into her, and you do connect this time.
Great. I think she gets an extra D8 because she's undead, right? Because I'm going to smite her. So first, I do my shillelagh damage, which is not a terrible amount. 6 bludgeoning, and then I'll drop a 3rd level smite, so I'll roll it as a 4th. 32 radiant damage, and that's my turn instead.
Okay, yeah, you slam into her, and it kind of rattles her to the side as she shifts and is kind of translucent and shifting. She kind of blinks open once more before she kind of realizes and shifts back, becoming more translucent, fading.
Did the rest of us get a turn, or?
Well, she's frozen.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right.
No, that's fair.
Okay. I guess I go after Ezekiel technically, right?
Yeah, well.
Okay.
She's still locked in place partially on this plane.
So seeing that Ezekiel was able to connect, Ball will try the evil person again. It's a wisdom saving throw.
Not great. 8.
Okay. So she will be paralyzed, and then Ball will do his thing to try to attack her again. So 2 sorcery points, 2 bonus action, attack. He'll attack with Living Blade in case she does have a chance to get away. 24, does that hit?
Yeah, that hits.
All right. Give me a sec, I'll add all this up. Then third level smite. Does she count as undead then, right?
She is.
Right. Let me just add all this up.
You don't need to. How do you kill Eliza?
Just as it looks like she's starting to fade back into this like ethereal form where it feels like she might just be out of reach, and then just like I guess for a moment she flickers, and then just kind of I don't know, like blood starts to pour out, or does blood pour out of her? I don't know.
So as she has kind of tried to maintain herself on the other side, just beyond your reach on this plane, the curse from Amsen takes in, pulling her back, stunning her for long enough to pull her back onto this plane, at which point Ezekiel drops the shillelagh staff and you strike as well. She locks up from your paralyzation as you drive in with the glaive, slashing up, and it's like cutting through smoke. The spectral swirls are shattered and begin swirling and spreading off into various directions. This pale blue light shattered from the silver golden light of your glaive and your smite. And as you drive it up, it's strange. It's like forcing it through mud or quickly rushing water. She feels more present than she has before. And as you drive it up from the stomach, cutting up through the chest into the throat, and as you hit the head, there's a shattering of blinding golden silver light. And as you recover your strike, that silver blue transparent energy kind of falls to the floor in a pile. Her body gone. There's just a bit of ectoplasmic energy faded onto the floor before you.
Is she gonna fucking come back again?
She better not.
Could Ball do a divine sense and see if her presence is still felt?
Doing a divine sense, you can feel there's a sensation from the ectoplasm, but nothing of substance.
I'm gonna take out a vial from one of my kits, and I'm gonna scrape the ectoplasm into it.
You sure do, you weirdo. You get some ectoplasm, mark that down.
Oh, yeah.
Ezekiel will just kind of wrinkle his nose at Vesper, and then
I'm not gonna keep it.
turn.
Something so we can put it to rest.
Everyone has their hobbies. Anyway, new friends. Shall we have a chat?
I, for one, would like some fucking answers.
Well, you will have them. We have little choice. And he kind of still has he's kind of laid his hands on his legs. He's kind of relaxed, but they're still up. Like he's obviously not resisting. What is it you want to know?
Why, for starters, did you break into the temple?
That was him. And to recover her and the information. They are different division than I am. They are with the will, his will. From what I understand, they were getting rid of information to prevent people like you from chasing them down, from sniffing into business they have no, business being in.
And you are somehow separate from them?
In a way, yes. I am Officer Blom Fairrock. I serve Karnak Rardok. We are allied with his will, but we are not the same. Drin there worked for the Old Witch.
The Old Witch?
There are 3 divisions in what we seek to do. Before we considered being more upfront with our goals, but when that theory was tested in past, we found that general public was not open to change. And so we have to work undercover.
And what is your cause?
We're going to bring divinity back to this world. To all of us, where the gods took it away. We once, all of us, had our own shards of divinity. They belonged to us and were not loaned out by the gods. They created us like this, and they took it away. Maybe they had good reason to, but does all existence deserve to suffer because of actions of few? The gods deserve to hoard all divinity to themselves. Should it not be free? And you can see now that you're having a conversation with him, and things have settled down a bit. In the light, you can see he looks mostly like a dwarf, but his skin is grayer, more like stone. His face almost appears chiseled. It's flesh, but not quite. You can see veins in his arms, these lines as if ore runs through them. His eyes are coal black. His beard is hard.
Judging by the bullshit you've done with the power you already have, I'm not sure that you're the type of people who should have any divinity.
And what about you? Should you have it?
Fuck if I know.
So little you know. I can provide answers. I can try to convince you you are on the wrong side of history.
I look to Ezekiel and Ball to see if they have interjections. And if not, I'll...
I think Ball's just kind of pensive about when he says, doesn't everyone deserve divinity? Ball's just kind of, like you see it kind of maybe strike a chord, and Ball's just kind of thinking on that.
Yeah. Keep talking. Go ahead and explain it to us.
Well, when the God created the children, the Elen, the Umbach, the Arcox, they all had divinity. Everything did. People, plants, animals, the wind, rivers, mountains, swords, armor, spoons, bowls, everything had its own shard of divinity. They called this essence. Well, most of the time on a spoon you wouldn't detect it, but everything could hold it. Everything was divine, everything was holy. And when some children rebelled against the gods, they attempted to create things the gods deemed beyond their status, the gods took away the divinity from everyone, leaving them mortal, more mortal than they have ever been.
And what sort of things did the gods deem above their station?
Weapons, armors, immortality. The architects, as some call them, were able to create pieces of armor and weaponry that could make someone essentially a god. Not a powerful god, but a god all the same. Immortal, divine. For it could hold more divinity, this essence, than our own souls could. Gods did not like that, so they struck the ascendants down, who were able to take out one god in the process, but one is not enough. And in punishment, the rest of the gods took away all of divinity, separated themselves through a divine gate, and continued to hoard the divinity for themselves, not to be shared with the people, or the animals, or the trees, or the mountains.
So,
our goal is to reverse that.
So pretty much the same story we've heard before?
I'm not sure what story you've heard, but that is the story I say.
Well, then you're simply misinformed. For a Seatman lives among this plane, and I am happy to tell you all about His Holiness in nature, in exhausting detail. And I am sure we can find a way to convince you that there's enough holiness right in this world. But before we get there, why don't you tell me where your friends are gathering? I am curious about your little group.
Well, so be it. They gather on the other side, in Felnor. The shadow the gods left, and they receded from that world. They gather in the sunset fields. His will.
So,
The Miri Voss. The architects, the old witch, the Umbok, and descendants of the original, the descendants themselves.
So who's the big asshole in the gold armor?
He is an asshole. It's the Miri Voss, his will, the Blood King. The world of Felnor is united for generations or centuries. Our people have lived in the shadow and the darkness, contending with the horrors left there, created there. Perhaps it was a punishment for some long ago, but what happened after 4 generations? 7? 10? How much is enough? We do not seek to usurp the gods, or replace them, or get rid of them, but only to release that divinity, to give it back to the children, as the gods created us originally. Is that so bad? None have to die if they would allow this, for the gate to come down. None would have to.
But many would.
Not at our hands.
But at their own.
Perhaps.
People have already been dying at your hands.
And at yours. How many have died as you fight each other?
People are already killing each other with weapons. Just the more powerful they are, though.
I wish I could make you see this. Our cause is noble. It is just. The gods don't like it, but they are not always right. They see things differently from way up there, in their heaven. They do not see the dust we must breathe in, day after day. The darkness, absence of light. What did I do to deserve it? Sure, my ancestors, but what did I do? And my father? And my father before him? What did they do?
Now that I don't know. But you have somehow found yourself in this world of light, away from the dark plane that you grew up in. And yet, instead of basking in its wonders, you seek to tear it down. I wonder if the crimes of your people are truly erased from you yet.
It is not my place to judge, but only to serve, so that the light will return to us. The ascendants will rise again.
I touch my holy symbol and kind of make eye contact with them and go, and it's not really our place to judge, but to serve.
This is what I meant earlier. The lines have already been drawn. It is unfortunate. What will happen? That this could not be achieved through peace, but through conquest. The architects have tried. The Umbak have tried. Now it is Demiri's turn. And his way is full of plague and death. But so it must be.
Who was that second one you said? The architects and then the...
Umbok. We are the Umbok. What would you have me do?
Do you know where the will make their next move?
Yes, but I will not tell you this.
You have told us everything else. Why fall short now?
I have tried to convince you. What I have told you is not to put our operation at risk. That information would. Do what you must. There will be others to replace me.
Do you have sway among the other groups?
They have contacts. Sway is hard.
Would it help any if we showed you the world we live in, if Ezekiel maybe politely explained his perspective, if we tried to come to an agreement for both sides? I don't fault your logic. I understand, but I can't abide your methods.
We have tried this way before.
When?
And it has failed. 4 centuries ago.
There are very different people in the world now than there were 4 centuries ago.
And some are the same, too.
But if you think that we go back up to Nymanet and start talk, anyone up there abiding talk of bringing down the gate?
He is right.
He'll be executed if we bring him up there. All of them will.
There will be no compromise. The lines have already been drawn. You have to choose your side, and you have a choice. But there is only one way forward.
Well, I know my choice. And honestly think I'm sorry to see you on the other side. But my God is here, in this realm, with me. And, well, let's just say I'm the jealous type, and I'm not about inviting the rest of them to join us. Actually, that is not true at all. That is a complete lie of a statement. I'm done with him. You guys have fun.
Ball will kind of turn to the other two, the other two lackeys, I guess, and say, we know why he fights for this cause. And what about you two?
He is in Umbak. We are Halin. And as she says that, she kind of looks to the other, and their eyes ignite blue and then sort of a amber orange and actually glow dim light. They otherwise look like humans. We are the first of the children of gods, though our families have been cursed since the fall. We have sworn to change this, to end the cycle, to fulfill the prophecy. Do what you must. We knew this would happen. They told us that we would meet resistance, who could not be convinced, and to not show fear. And so we shall not.
Has this cycle not been continuing for centuries, as you have said?
Yes, it has. Generations in the darkness.
Then,
Your own generations have suffered as well, not having the divinity.
then why not break the cycle? My God believes in redemption. Why not seek that? Join us.
We will pray to your God when they bring down the gate, when they decide to share the divinity as they did before.
My God shares with me her divinity.
Not as it once was. She loans you divinity. It is not yours.
I have a question for you. For any of you. Since you've been forthcoming about a lot, is the Black Star connected to any of this?
The scouts kind of look at the Umbok, the dwarf brawn. In a way, it started this, a part of it, and the gate was created. The details are fuzzy. The world was destroyed. Records didn't last. People didn't last. There's not much known of it. It is part of the creation of the gate. Something that tried to resist it. Something that was stuck. What do you know of the Black Star?
Well, I was hoping you could tell me what you know.
There are many stars. One black, several red, others silver. They come, again, as they always have. But this time, what was foretold will come true.
And what was foretold?
The breaking of the divine mantle. The shattering and releasing of essence. It was the star's goal, originally. Or so it was said. They say you can visit the Black Star, though only the foolish attempt to, as it resides in the Fel Nor. You can ask of it questions. There are stories. Though I would not wish, even upon my enemy, that fate. And that is what we speak of. Fate.
And what are we supposed to wish upon you? You wish to see us fall?
I do not wish it, but it must be as we have said. If you wish to speak to others in our divisions among the will, I have contacts I can reach out to. We do not have to fight. Well, you do not have to fight against us.
You see Ball's kind of struggling, trying to make sense of, like, what the next course of action is. You know, when kind of this, like this, the image in Ball's head is kind of like back when there was like the orc that just kind of wanted to die in the name of his god, where it's like here Ball can't really extend these people that kind of like the favor that these people would want, because they would just come around and, you know, meet us again and kill us at some point, or, you know, kill others that are on our quote side. So I was just trying to think of a way to not have to, I guess, do the deed.
And Vesper just very quietly been contemplating things and looks very conflicted.
Come to set with me. I can assure your safety with the Umbak. Cannot promise with Demiri, with his will, but I can assure you with us. Speak to us. Learn. See. Watch. Understand. And if still you don't believe, and if still you choose your side, I will bring you back, and we will face each other again. I have my word in this, if you choose to accept it.
Do I trust him?
Yeah, I was going to ask the same question.
See me.
Everybody roll an insight check. This is a pretty reasonable time to do it.
18 for Vesper.
11 for Zeke.
16 for Ellory.
Ball will use his inspiration. Is it 1d8 now?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay. For Ball.
Okay. It's a little hard to read his face. It's more stoic than any. Even dwarves are generally more stoic, but this Umbak is even further like a statue compared to his cousins in the dwarves. But he seems to believe what he's saying. He seems to genuinely be honest and forthcoming. Vesper, I think you rolled an 18, so you also get this kind of tinge as he mentions his will. It's hard to know what that means, but you notice something when he says that.
And where exactly would you be taking us?
To the sunset fields, to set on the other side in Felnor. I know this circle here. I can bring you back.
Can we have some time to decide? Maybe get back to the people that are waiting on word of that, and just point to the dead assassin?
You there. And he looks towards Melly. You cast. I cannot promise I will be here. I cannot promise I will wait. But if you reach out to me, I will attempt to find you. I will attempt to hold my word. Is this reasonable? You've won this day, and I can only ask and plead. It is not my decision what you choose to do.
While he's saying this, I'm going to go over to the rogue and start looking around to see if I can find the bag of holding that was mentioned, or any other sign of the artifact that we were supposed to find.
Looking around on him, you see there's this cloak, and you see actually runes kind of embroidered into the edges that kind of glimmer with a bit of smoke. You see a dagger and a short sword that's very curved, that almost curves in almost a hook-like fashion. You see a symbol around his neck, a few other daggers. You don't see the bag of holding, but as you're searching, if you're looking what he was carrying, it is in the other room. If you're looking for the schematic, it is in there, but, well, and he kind of trails off.
Somebody want to come with me in there?
Amsen does.
Amsen goes in, and inside you see there's a torch, and there's a little cot, and there's a working table, and in the center of this room is a teleportation circle, it looks like. Or Amsen's Melly, someone with Arcana mentions that. And you do see where there's a bag of holding, and then on the desk itself there is this large stone tablet with numerous geometric symbols and arcane runes and glyphs all over it.
Okay. How large is the tablet?
It's maybe 2.5 feet long and maybe a foot wide, something like that. And we are just meta, like we're probably going to end soon. I just want to get an idea of what's the next step? Where are you going? What do you guys do with these guys? Just going to figure out your direction and then we'll close out.
While they're grabbing the tablet, I will look to Vesper and Ball and say, I think it's in our best interest to trust him. We have the most opportunity to learn. I do think we should prepare for a trip to the other side. I don't think we should go now. But it's an opportunity I think we should take.
I agree.
And I might be able to get us out. As you see, Melly's kind of staring at the teleportation circle.
That would be handy to have available.
Instead of another 12-hour elevator ride.
I certainly don't want to go immediately if that means dragging this tablet to Felnor.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta
take
go.
That back now.
Also, you all owe me a dead plant creature.
Indeed.
Nice.
I'm itching to get back to that. I do want to take a look at this tablet before we hand it over to anyone. Or, I kind of glance at Melly and Amsen. Have somebody a little smarter than me look at it.
We have a 12-hour elevator ride. I'm sure there will be time.
If it sounds like you are releasing us, I will take the all-in and leave. With what we have on us, our weapons, if you allow, and we will go. When you reach out, I will try to find. I promise you this.
Yeah, go.
And he kind of gingerly at first steps up, but then realizing you're not going to do anything, casually kind of moves over to the teleportation circle, nods over, the Elan follow, picking up their weapons really quickly as he takes his, it wasn't a wand, it was a short rod that he had that's made of this marbled material. Takes out a spell and begins going over the runes. About a minute later, the runes are ignited as they step upon the circle, and he looks back towards you one last time before the light fades. The Umbach and the two Helen are gone, leaving you all in deep underground in some ruins of some ancient Dwarven or Umbach civilization with the schematic, the dead rogue, and a bag of holding.
I think under Ball's breath, Ball will say, I hope I don't regret trusting him too.
And on that is where we'll leave off this session and pick up next week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Back to the Story. For notifications when an episode goes live, you can find us on Stitcher, Google Play, Player FM, or TuneIn. Download the app and subscribe or favorite us there. We also have a YouTube channel called Back to the Story, an actual play podcast. If you'd like to contact us, you can tweet us at back2_the_story. If you can't fit it into 280 characters, you can email us at thebonfirefables@gmail.com. And if you'd like further information about the campaign, the player characters, or behind-the-scenes sneak peeks, follow us on either Twitter or our Tumblr website. Lastly, if you'd like to support the show, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory.